Hey everybody, Sam here. Oh man, before we start the show, I need to tell you that the audio in this episode isn't great. I'm still trying to figure out the mixer, and we used a new microphone that gave me a lot of trouble. Our guest's microphone makes him nearly impossible to understand in some parts. I tried to fix the audio as much as I could in post, but it's still rather rough. I toyed with the idea of just scrapping the whole episode, but I think otherwise it's a really good one, so I opted to leave it up there. But if this kind of thing tends to bother you and you end up skipping this episode, I can't blame you. Still, please do give it a chance. I think the only bad parts are with our guest. I tried to up the audio as much as I can so you could hear a lot of the ambient it just sounds like he's talking to you from inside an empty can of soup or something. But like I said, give it a chance. On a related note, if anyone out there knows anything about mixers and audio and all that stuff, I could really use your help. Please email me at indefensivebadmovies@gmail.com or get on Facebook and send me a message or post something or whatever. Anyway, thanks so much, and do try to enjoy the episode.
We watched one of the most economical movies in history. It was 3 hours long, but it felt like 6. It's The Postman, and we are in defense of bad movies. Hey everybody, Sam here with another In Defense of Bad Movies episode. How's everyone doing?
Good. How we have a special guest today.
We do, but let's not get to him yet. Let's go around and introduce. Everyone knows I'm Sam Bowen. Then there's Bobby Mattern.
Hello.
Laura King.
Hey.
Lauren Bowen.
Hi, husband.
Hello. And our special guest. Let's go with Jason Loadsman.
Jason Loadsman, a.k.a. Geronimo of the Urban Voodoo Machine.
Yeah, the Urban Voodoo Machine, who provides our theme song.
Hey! Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
For that free music. Thank you.
And you were the one who made us watch The Postman. That was the movie.
Yes, I am the leader of the Kevin Costner Appreciation Society. These are the people who are going to be inducted to my cult. My club.
So yeah, thank you for having us watch this.
Well, I feel much better watching you watch it. Was quite pleasurable from my point of view.
I like when we saw how long it was. The first thing that we said is, "It's 3 hours long. Awesome!"
I don't know why you guys said that. That was not my wording.
It's not like he's known for long films, Mr. Costner, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was something. Before we get into it, let's do Laura's 20 seconds.
Oh, because it was 3 hours. It requires more time.
Yeah. Are you getting ready to time it?
I am, absolutely.
Good for you. Good. Somebody's on top of this. And go.
In 1997, this post-apocalyptic world, the movie was actually sponsored by the United States Postal Service, so you could start to appreciate what they do for us. So everyone go watch the movie that they sponsored, and yeah, that's my synopsis.
Wow.
Just like it. Nice. So yeah, this is a post-apocalyptic movie. Let's break it down.
Postal apocalyptic.
Let's see what you did there.
We are in defense of bad movies.
Thank you, everyone. Try to top that.
So yeah, let's get into it.
Oh man, guys!
Who wants to do a more in-depth synopsis?
I can. No, I won't. You guys do it. Everyone can take like a 5-minute part, and then when we get around, we'll have at least maybe like the first part covered, and then we could go on to the second part, third part, fourth part, and so on.
This episode is going to be 3 hours long.
I kind of want to shoot it over to our guest, Jay. How would you describe this movie?
Oh, a realistic post-apocalyptic adventure.
Wow.
It's part
adventure.
Western, part sci-fi, total excellence.
Where was the Western part of the movie?
Horses.
It's all
Six-shooter revolvers.
I can see that. I absolutely get the trying to be post-apocalyptic Western. Yeah. It's out on the range. More so. Okay.
The Pony Express.
Pony Express.
Yeah.
Out in, the uncharted territories. Like it's got that wild, lawless feel. Yeah, I get that.
It starts out in Utah. That's the West.
Mm-hmm.
In 2013.
In 2013. You guys, we're in danger. We're now past this movie.
Yeah.
I never like when that happens. It's always creepy.
So yeah, okay, let's...
Terminator, never happened.
So Kevin Costner is a Shakespeare performer who...
To be or not to be. That's the only one. No, he knows more, but that's his like...
Not much more. Not much more.
So he, for some reason, okay, he's trying to avoid people, and yet he has something worked out where, you know, when he sees people like, oh, I'm gonna do Shakespeare for them.
That's how he goes into town.
With my mule as my co-star.
Of course.
Yeah. He has sheet music for random people with pianos to accompany him. Yeah.
He's a traveling player. He goes from town to town and gets a meal every now and then.
I'm okay with that, but the fact that, like, he's like, oh, civilization. What does he say to Bill, his poor mule? It's something like, you know, he's avoiding civilization. I thought I wrote it down, but maybe not. But then, if he's avoiding civilization, why does he have... This seems to be how he's making his living.
You're right. He should be more excited to see the township. But as we've seen, it's, you know, a Walking Dead style world. Every new group of people could be perilous and problematic. So,
but all the towns were so nice.
They were all really nice. They were all really happy to be inviting strangers.
Kruger wasn't super happy to see the Postman.
Kruger.
From Seinfeld. Kruger, yeah. But we're skipping ahead.
I know. Because we forgot to start with the narration. All our best movies have narration right front and center.
Oh, yeah.
We listened to it twice. I still don't fully understand the apocalyptic events of this world. And that's because they are poorly defined and explained.
There was a war.
There was a war.
There was a plague.
There was, I'm assuming, biological warfare in that war that led to plague. But then crazy weather too.
And
3-year winter.
And there were 3-year winter, you poor babies. You die in Westeros. 3-year winter whiners. You don't even have ice zombies.
Do people not get that with post-apocalyptic anything? You don't have to define the apocalypse. It's just it happened, and then we're after it.
And there was enough information that's like, but you're not fully explaining. Either just refer to it as the event.
I agree with you.
Or tell me exactly what happened, because this is too confusing.
This feels like it was long enough ago that like, yeah, they know that now, but at the time maybe it was still, I don't know.
Yeah, it was before Mad Max came out.
Well, yeah, okay.
No, I think we're just giving them too much props. It's just a bad movie, is all.
Can we talk about the pacing too in this movie? How it's weird and it feels very disjointed. And like not only the pacing, but the way that it's presented. It's not, you know, usually movies that have their beginning, the middle, and the end. Like that's typical. And then it, like a 3-hour movie, I guess you have a longer beginning, you know, longer middle, longer ending. But this movie, it's like one thing happens. And it happens really fast in the first half. You know, he set up like what he does. He's, you know, this wanderer traveling,
wandering minstrel.
Yeah. Shakespearean actor. And then, he gets captured by the bad guy because there's the bad guy who kind of runs, I guess, like
Will Patton.
Yeah, Will Patton plays Bethlehem.
The wholeness.
And then he has a whole nother city, I guess you would call it, like a little town, and he has slaves, and so he makes Kevin Costner a slave, and then there's an undetermined amount of time that passes.
Oh yeah,
thank you for mentioning that.
And then
that is the whole movie.
And then he escapes, and then Kevin Costner finds a postman, a dead body with the postman's uniform on, and he takes. This is the name of the movie, and we are already
40 minutes in.
40 minutes in, yeah. And then he goes to another town, and then, you know, and then that's kind of where it feels like the movie actually starts, because it's like the name of the movie. But there's a whole beginning that, you know, so it's just so weird. Like, I had no idea. Just like, what's going on here?
Laura touched on something interesting. It seems to be a hallmark of bad movies is not knowing how long they take. How long do you, let's go around. How long do you think this movie took? Lauren?
3 weeks.
Jason?
The whole pace of the movie from his point of view.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was.
It's too hard. No, I know.
I think more like 6 months.
I'm sure. But we have no way, the only way we can potentially gauge is by the growth and receding of beards. And that is imprecise.
He had the burn on his arm and it must have healed, so it couldn't have been a week.
There's a crazy moment where Olivia Williams goes with Will Patton, and then it feels like, later that day they show up in another town. But then she tells Kevin Costner later, like, oh yeah, he used to rape me every night. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were with him for a couple hours.
I did, yeah.
But which makes sense because it's, Wild West. So like the towns must be really remote and far apart from each other, but everything feels like, all right, we're going to go hit up that town. Boom, we're there.
Yep.
But then also,
They
okay.
edited that hour out.
So Kevin Costner gets her pregnant.
Oh, wait. We have to.
We're jumping into this.
Yeah, we have to talk about the line.
There's
that
so
she
much
gives
happening.
him.
There's so much happening.
Body father.
The body father. Oh my god.
All right, so post-apocalyptic world, Kevin gets captured by this like crazy militaristic, basically El Guapo and all his soldiers who, pillage the towns and steal their resources. And
they're super racist.
Oh, that was something that was never addressed.
That was a surprise.
So
Was the war started by people
Oh
of
my
color?
goodness.
That was never explained? Why
And they
it's so
mention
racist?
like
If you drop the N-word, bring it back around.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know.
there was a biological, like he mentioned early on, like the biological warfare that took place, and then they mentioned when they're coming into the small towns looking for more soldiers for their press gangs, like, and we want pure blood stock.
And it's
And
good
then-
because it killed everyone except for 2 black people. In
Exactly.
The world.
But when they say pure blood stock, and then they start talking about mongoloids.
I know.
The movie uses the term mongoloids, and so I assume like that, and like there happens to be one Down syndrome like person in this town, and so I'm assuming that's what they mean, like something happened in the war that like caused birth defects, but no, then they turn around to make it very clear we are talking about black people for some reason,
But only in the beginning and never again.
and only these people.
Even when Will Patton is faced with a black person later on, talks to the black, never comes up.
No problem. We hate you, but you're not so bad. But like, and it's just them. But yeah, it's for a movie that is filled with only white people. It does not come up at all why this is happening.
Yeah, I could have used less explanation of the apocalypse and more explanation of why the apocalypse made everyone a raging racist.
But only for the first 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna drop that.
So
Yeah.
Olivia
We just said it was
Williams-
in bad taste.
Olivia Williams was certifiable crazy, right? Like she was
Yeah.
grade A nuts.
So I can't tell because she's Olivia Williams and she's amazing.
she's beautiful.
Not in this movie. No.
She's always amazing.
Well, she was a different character in every single scene.
Well, so he goes to town in his postman's uniform.
Oh, he goes to town, all right.
And then
He
she
plows that,
l-
Olivia Williams.
goes up to him and says, she and her husband, I think the first question that she asks him. So, as far as you know, you have good semen.
That wasn't that first question.
Is a line from the movie.
She's like, how
I'm
tall
not
are you?
kidding.
Have you had the bad mumps?
Do you have
How's
any
your
mongoloid in
semen?
you?
Yeah, she led up to it.
Yeah. Kevin Costner then goes, wait, is that a trick question?
You don't just go up to a guy in a bar and ask if he has good semen. You lead into it.
What are the bad? I guess the bad.
I
mumps
want
is one
you
of
to
those.
I'm assuming
make
that's
me
part of
pregnant.
it.
I mean, that is just insane.
But if Olivia Williams says it to you, you do it.
This is true. 100%. So he does. He knocks her up.
Well, and then but it's not just that. Like, a woman who's married wants to have his semen to make a baby.
Because her husband has the
Yeah,
bad mumps.
because her husband has a bad
procreate.
mumps.
Yeah,
To procreate.
yeah. She wants
like,
a-
let's just put this, on very
She wants a
scientific-
blandly attractive child, and
Yes.
that's the way to go.
And so, instead of, just having him, jack off into a cup or whatever, or whatever, she has to go there.
They don't have turkey basters
Yeah.
in this feature.
Whatever.
To be fair.
Okay, fine. But, instead of just having the most, I don't know, just stock sex. No, there has to be an actual sex scene.
it was sensual.
Oh, it was so sensual. And it was
There was
she
nothing
enjoyed
clinical
it.
about
I mean, there's nothing clinical. It was just insane how much she looked like she enjoyed it. And that was a guy's fantasy. I felt like that was straight out of a guy's porn.
Let me ask you this. Do you think she has any kind of sex with her husband, or is it just are they able to create condoms in this world? So maybe this is her sex.
Maybe he's not even able to have sex.
I just think he was firing blanks.
I didn't get that impression
I
that
just
they
think he's a
didn't
Ken
have.
doll. I think that's what the bad mumps are.
Yeah.
Just fused everything.
But
He's got the bad bump.
they didn't explain
Oh.
it enough to to question
right.
why the other guys didn't. I mean, her one line of that there would be jealousy or something in the world.
Yeah, it's
town.
weird if you see the same person every day that impregnated your child. Sure, it's the future, but people still care about that kind of thing. Sure.
Yeah, he did because he was not willing to let Will Patton have sex with his wife. So he does clearly. Yeah.
Well, that was rape.
Yeah. But okay, so going back to that. Now we've established she got.
I have a feeling we're going to say going back to that so much.
So she gets knocked up by Kevin Costner, and then for what seems like
she could be lying though.
I guess
she burned down the barn. I mean,
yeah. They spend the winter in in this cabin. It seems like it's the entire winter.
To make clear, so we don't think anything unseemly is happening, Will Patton kills her husband because he wants to first knight her, and he says no. And then
then he allows it, right? Like he says like, "Oh, I don't want to have to hurt you because you already did one thing for me," and then.
But then he stabs him through the stomach.
Yeah, no, I don't.
So I think he probably is not going to let that slide.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think her. I don't know. I was confused at that. I didn't know if her husband objected because he first objected and then backed off.
Well, then he said no. He said explained it would give me your blessing, and he said no, I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
And that's when the sword.
Okay.
Okay.
And so so just to make clear, her husband has been horribly murdered a day ago.
Yeah.
And she's off in a cabin with Kevin Costner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then also, let us not forget that out of every single woman in the town, Bethlehem, the bad guy, chooses Olivia Williams' character to take.
Yeah.
No, I believe that's what you call, what was it, a piece of fine ass?
Yeah.
In fairness, she is a piece of fine ass.
She really is.
Yeah.
She was sexist.
Yeah.
Okay, so they spend the winter it feels like they spend the winter in the cabin. Spring has sprung.
Oh, we didn't talk about how Kevin Costner escapes the. They try to find him, and then
we 100% will. I just want to get this point across real quick.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So
some time has passed because he said, Olivia Williams said he beat me.
Yeah.
So she's not got no marks on her.
Right. Okay.
So there must have been that must have been much longer.
And he's grown the beard.
Yeah. You're only helping my case here and hurting your own.
I just see these as just lapses in time.
So she's got time to spend several days with Will Patton. Then she has time for all her wounds to heal. It feels like they spend winter in the cabin. It's spring. And then he sees her, and all this time no tomfoolery happens because they end up wherever they move. They live in different apartments, and he spies her from across the way. Looks through a window. She is not showing at all. And I thought, she had the baby, right?
I hate that in movies.
No,
that
she's
is
still
so
within her
annoying.
first
I think
trimester
it's so
or something.
lazy on the storyteller, the director. Kevin Costner, who was the director of this movie, but
she's just carrying it really well.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
My God.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's a very different experience now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Guys, this movie's amazing.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I interrupted you, but I hate that in movies when they, a woman is clearly they're supposed to show a marking of time, and then she does not look pregnant at all.
It's not a Jerry Bruckheimer movie. Come on, your pregnant lady should be able to show.
Well, it wasn't a Jerry Bruckheimer movie because the first shot of her wasn't her ass.
That's a good point.
So that's super clear.
Or her
And it's a fine piece of ass.
What else we got?
Well, where do we end? Let's Jason. Let's hear from you. I want to know these scenes. What about that scene?
And talk right up into that microphone.
Or what scenes do you like from the movie? What are your favorite parts?
I like the whole premise that this is, it's post-apocalyptic and there's not your typical monsters, zombies, this, that, and the other. So, yeah, what people are just trying to get along and live their lives, and some people want to have power and dominate, and that I just liked it how it goes back to basics. But some people are nice, some people are dicks, and got a rule. Yeah, and I just liked it. I got no fucking argument. Yeah, well, the people are all divided. The whole angle of him bullshitting his way in to the post. I like that. That's, because you could say, oh, he wouldn't be able to do that, but they've told you he's an actor, so he's good at lying.
Oh. Oh my God. Okay.
Did you miss that bit?
No, I had made a note that I wanted his Shakespeare knowledge, which I guess is acting, if you could call it acting, to have something to do with him being a postman, because it didn't. And after you made that argument, I can see it, but considering he was a bad actor, I take it back. I can't. There was no connection between his pre-postman and post-postman life.
Well, he kind of wandered up, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, I could tell him I'm a postman. It did seem a little bit like he got lucky. Oh, I have letters. But,
we got stacks and stacks of letters.
I would like to have thought that was a preconceived notion that he was going to do that and trick people into letting him in.
Okay.
I guess the parts I really liked is when the kids really get into having something to live for and, starting the postal. What he introduced is BS.
1 hour and 45 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree that was the most fun part, the stuff with the kids.
Yeah,
I really like that.
It was what I really like about it is, when they come down after Nutjob has burned the house for no reason whatsoever. I mean, that would be a really good place to have, to leave behind in case Crazy Bethlehem's after you. You can go up there. She's burned it. Why?
Yeah.
The kid part was weird for me. I mean, it was fun to have, the kids participate in this, and kind of it created this camaraderie between, all these towns. But then when Bethlehem killed all those kids, that part was like,
it was super sad.
Yeah, it was weird. The movie had a weird, it was pretty neutral. It was a very 90s movie in terms of violence. But then there were moments I think at the beginning with Bethlehem, beheads or slices a guy's neck, for not finding a chair. That was the first, it was just a startling scene. And then there are there was the kids being killed. I think that was another one. And then just there were a few it was just very off. And then when he shoots the guy who wasn't Ford Lincoln Ford, the other one, instead.
I think we need to explain Ford Lincoln Mercury.
Or Ford Lincoln, whatever.
He's one of our black people in the movie.
He's also the hero of the movie.
Yeah, he's also here. He's rechristened himself Ford Lincoln Mercury because he wants to drive a car, which don't exist in this world, so I'm not sure what he's basing that off of.
There's not even wrecks of cars.
No, not really. You don't see any cars.
Well, that was a dealership, and that, he got the name from a dealership. Yeah. So there must have been pictures inside that he grew up looking at.
Cars existed before the apocalypse. Oh, I see what you're saying.
We can think that, but then when we look at the stuff we see in this movie,
there's no cars.
And other things. The apocalypse happened in 1997, but
we see the post office.
But he finds a cigarette machine. He finds old-timey computers. We don't see anything like a Game Boy or disused IBM machines. It all dates to 80s and prior. He's pulling out a TV guide.
They got sick and died during the plague. Y2K. It happened.
But yeah, all the paraphernalia of Life 4 all predates 85 and earlier. There's nothing of the 90s in this movie.
Maybe it was Transformers. Machines came alive and then they left. So that's what machines will gone.
It is very hazy. That could very well be what happened.
There's not an Entertainment Weekly from 1992. No, it's all really old stuff.
Agreed.
This is based on a book, actually.
Yeah, 3 books.
Oh, it's 3?
It was 3, yeah. Which might sort of attribute to how disjointed the movie was, even though that's not an excuse.
Well,
one of those books might have explained the racism too.
They did they come out in 1997?
No, they're
the movie?
Older.
Oh, okay. So the movie could have technically made the movie older, but maybe that's why the props weren't up to date.
And the books actually you probably would hate because they actually go into
you have to read them.
But there's more sci-fi elements. There's one town is run by a robot. And it pulls in a lot more weird sci-fi technology stuff. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
And so this pares all that down and just makes it, like you said, the Western, which is probably better.
Is one of the towns run by Tom Petty playing himself?
Speaking of books, guys, this society is based on the 7 Habits of Highly Effectual People or whatever. It's based on a self-help book. This new society is. Remember they hailed, who was it that
Nathan Holness?
Nathan Holness, yeah. That farmer that caused all the trouble.
That again is not explained nearly enough.
But he had a self-help book that's what Will Patton picked up and looked at. And
he was the author of that book? or something like that.
87% sure. I would say I might need to go back and watch it, but we only have a 24-hour rental. And
because again, the argument with this movie, the militia was formed by this Nathan Hull guy who's now dead, and Bethlehem has taken over. But again, he's not explained nearly well enough either. Like,
no, and like why?
I assumed Bethlehem had challenged him and taken him over.
Oh, probably that makes sense.
That's what I thought too.
Because why else would Bethlehem even?
But then they all go around like hailing Hull all the time. So maybe he secretly murdered him.
Yeah, I will give you the one flaw I saw was they said anybody can try for leadership. I would have gone for him straight then and been in charge.
How's everyone not trying?
You know,
and then not ever said that rule ever again.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. So,
he says that at the beginning, and you're like, I wonder how he's going to die.
Gosh, let's see.
Yeah.
I'm not setting anything up, I guess. Oh,
By the most awkward wrestling match of all time.
It was so preposterous.
It wasn't real.
Oh my god, they're gonna do. Oh no, they're just gonna. No more. Just rolling around on the ground.
Oh, they start on horses, like fight on the horse for a while. And then, like, no, we immediately leap at each other from horseback and just wrestle.
But when they leap at each other from horseback, you're like, oh my god, they're gonna fight on horses with their. Oh no, they're just gonna roll around in slow motion.
In fairness, that is one of the more accurate movie fights I've ever seen.
To be fair, they're not well trained.
I am not looking for realism in this movie, even a little bit.
So, guys, I looked it up. Nathan Holland was an author who championed a violently violent, misogynistic, and hyper-survivalist society. So he did write that book that
right.
what's his name picked up. Thank you, Wikipedia.
You would have dug this movie.
It does not say he's racist, but if you're misogynist, I bet they go hand in hand.
They do.
Yeah.
Women is just their least favorite race.
So,
did you like the character of Bethlehem? Did he amuse you?
No, not really. I mean, he was more entertaining than Kevin Costner's character. To be fair, I'm not a big Kevin Costner fan, so...
No. See, the thing is, I've never liked any of his films. I've always thought they're too long, and he's up his own ass.
He's
but
just
this movie
very...
comes out and everyone hates it, and I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. and I agree, he's like not acting properly in the film. I mean,
No, he's not.
But that adds to a certain charm for me. So I guess you can cut it to pieces, but that's not going to knock it in my eyes because I'm liking it from a certain ironic point of view.
It's interesting because Will Patton, it's like if you were to ask me to describe Will Patton, I would say poor man's Kevin Costner. But I like Will Patton so much more than Kevin Costner. But it's interesting that they're kind of cast opposite each other when they both have that similar, style feel to them.
I don't think so, because I think the first thing I saw, yes, Will Patton is in Armageddon, and Will
Patton can also play the military angle in movies.
I think
because of the name.
I think that he's like the underdog. Like, so when you cast him as a bad guy,
Kevin Costner is also the underdog.
I don't know.
Did you feel bad for
They're just
Bethlehem
everyday guys.
They were both underdogs. Our two main characters were underdogs, guys.
So bad.
Neither of them took criticism well. When the guy said you're a worse actor than me, Kevin Costner, who was pretty much the worst actor in it, did not take it well.
He wasn't even trying when they were doing their Shakespeare off.
Yeah.
Will Patton was actually emoting and stuff, and Kevin Costner was just like
to be or not
to be.
It's seriously though. It wanted me. I mean, I wanted Kevin Costner in a Shakespeare movie so bad with Keanu Reeves.
Was
you nearly got it?
Was he not in Hamlet? Sorry,
no.
Everyone was in Hamlet.
This was his close. This was his attempt to I can go do Shakespeare, guys. I'm going to do St. Crispin's Day.
I think the mule was better than he was. His blocking was better.
Absolutely. Oh man!
I think what's missing with Bethlehem though is he's crazy, but it's fun when they have kind of like that. I don't want to say that sympathetic angle, but where you're like, oh, they believe in some sort of greater good that's just nuts. And Bethlehem, his greater good stuff is kind of really shady. You just get the sense that he just really likes power and he really likes.
Yeah. He's a Nathan Holt fan.
Yeah. And he's got the whole bent on knowledge and education. He is, feels far more educated and informed than everyone else, and he takes books and burns them once he's read them, so no one else can have this power. He is this movie feels like it's some insane alarmist propaganda, besides being like sponsored by the post office. Also, like your Battlefield Earth or like you're left behind, like this is all a metaphor for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, our postman starts off, outside the government, very anti-establishment, and then by the end, he creates a large central government single-handedly.
Speaking of symbolic stuff, when you give somebody a name like Bethlehem, that's very evocative.
Really?
And exactly. Okay. What did it mean in the movie? Why did they name him Bethlehem in the movie?
You remember when Jesus got all fascist, right? This is alluding to that.
I do.
And there's a few
Not
musical things, like he names the town Elvis.
Oh, and the town hates Dolph Lundgren movies.
Yeah.
The training grounds, I guess.
Also, Ringo Starr is our president.
Yeah.
You know what
Not one person, by the way, goes Ringo. Like, we see hundreds of people in this
Ringo,
movie.
who was probably still alive somewhere.
Yeah,
and
well,
people
Tom
should
Petty's
remember.
alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the old guy who's like, I know stuff. He must have known who Ringo Starr was.
Yeah, somebody, you would think.
You guys, Frontiers people are dumb. They're so excited when he comes back pretending to be a post person. Like, what's happening in the government? Is there a president yet? Like, do you really think in the world that you haven't heard from the president? But we're getting the post office back up.
The biggest suspense of disbelief is how friggin' excited everyone is about the post office.
And
how the
and there comes in the
postal
propaganda.
Workers are the most revered thing. No one's, you would buy it if it's like, oh my god, the army's back. Like, I don't know, something, but it's just like the post office. No one likes the post office.
Okay. So, the scene where they decide, like, hey, we're tired of Bethlehem and his gang of, men who like to come and, kill us and whatever. I don't...
That was just a very good description.
Yeah.
And so they ambush them and they kill them. And so they do that one time. And that's the only time that they revolt against Bethlehem.
And it seemed like it really worked.
And it did work.
They talked to the old Vietnam codger. He taught them about guerrilla warfare, and it was successful.
Yeah.
They became the Wildcats for a second.
And then they don't do it anymore. And
it was a good idea.
It was a good idea, and I don't know what happened. Why they didn't do that any other time, but they let all these other people get killed, these town mayors or whatever they were supposed to be, or,
Their rebellion was crushed really quickly.
It was so weird.
What's our main city again? What's it called?
Pineview.
Pineview. Pineview has that big gate, and they almost kill Kevin Costner. And then Bethlehem later just walks into town, and everyone is really surprised to see him.
He came in the back way, I guess.
Well,
but he just walks in. He's just there suddenly.
He doesn't breach the gate. They don't.
And also, where do the horses are going 2 by 2, and they're going at a good clip. Where are the cannons coming from?
They've got a full camp.
Yeah,
they've got 2 cannons. They travel full artillery, apparently, that we never see until it's set up and ready to go.
That's good leadership.
I guess that's a good point. And you guys, all the blood in the movie was really clearly red paint, right? That was just a small point of
That's a side effect of the bad moms.
It's covered. It's totally covered.
I didn't even think about that. Okay, never mind. That's not a dig then. That's really great. That's a good detail. Good detail.
I've got written in my notes, I don't remember the context, it just says, ride, postman, ride. I said ride. I don't remember what that's from, but it's a great
That was Kruger. That was James.
Right before he gets killed.
Yeah, the guy who runs
that's right. Oh, that was such an emotional.
Yeah, who was that guy? He was the mayor of this?
Sheriff.
Chief Sheriff.
He was the one who was really doubtful of him.
Okay, now
Is he Opie's dad?
I'm lost
I think so.
as to how did they collect him and the other guys from the town and execute them?
They were in town and just somehow probably by mail, sent a message to the postman that he better show up or they were going to kill 10 guys in town. So they just sort of, rolled into town and muscled together 10 men to kill if he didn't come.
See, and I don't understand. Those men that they had there, none of them could revolt, together. They couldn't revolt. I mean, we saw it right before that they could stage revolt.
But they were selecting because one of the guys in the line was the guy that they had called a mongoloid or whatever. But He just seemed like a guy who just...
And they were townsfolk. The
took
real...
him out of the line and put somebody else in.
The front of the rebellion is all our hardcore, awesome postal service people, because they're the biggest and best in town. So, like, all your townsfolk are still kind of mealy and subjugated. And so when Hopper and the other grasshoppers roll into town, like, they just kind of cower and let him do whatever. Except for their one rebellious bride Postman.
Can we talk about...
There's so much, Sam.
There's a lot.
I'm so excited where you're going to go.
Okay,
it could be anything.
So Kevin Costner's the postman.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
He's passing this house. The kid's rushing to finish his letter.
Oh God, that scene was so bad.
It was preposterous. It took an hour. That was one of our hours.
Well, he had like backup on the horse.
No,
so the child comes out, sees Postman's running up really fast on his horse, comes out with holding his letter up, and he rides past, and the child is just dejected, and Christmas Time is playing in the background, and he's so sad.
Do you think that was his letter to Santa? That's what I think.
And then Kevin Costner stops 50 feet up the road, turns around,
Thinks
and for a
about
good,
it.
15, 20 minutes, just stares at that kid. And the kid starts to get a glimmer of hope again, but he's still thinking about it. And then puts his horse into a full gallop as the kid holds out his baton and grabs it in a run, crumples it in his hand.
And there's a freeze frame on that moment.
I 100% guarantee you there is a moment in that script where it says, wait for applause.
Yeah. And then the kid just beams from that moment.
And he's there traveling in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
He's in the wrong direction.
Full speed.
He has to go back again.
Yeah.
Maybe wait for the kid to go
Yeah.
inside.
You could have walked back.
That scene takes, I think, 5+ minutes to have.
That's 2.5 hours of the movie right there.
You have that kid at the end.
I was going to say, there's an applause-worthy payoff to that scene.
Kid, that's me.
And then they do like a freeze frame, like a recap of that scene again.
He's the last shot of the movie.
That child beaming because he loves the mail.
I was all by myself in my house watching this movie, and I was giggling with glee at that payoff.
I love it.
You guys, he was sending photos, and he just comes up and crumples it in his hand. Like, that's not... It says "Do not bend." Oh man, that made me so mad.
Oh God.
Can we talk about Old Blind Woman?
Please.
Old Blind Woman needs a letter.
She doesn't have an address. But she has a
believe in you.
Oh,
But he got it to her.
He gets to her. She wants to send out a letter to her daughter. No idea where she is. You can find her. You're the post office.
Oh gosh! If only the post office were that helpful.
That was the worst old woman acting and the worst blind acting. Both of them I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot think of any old woman or any blind performance that was worse.
And you saw Helen Keller in community theater. Or Miracle Worker.
No, I like the idea that it was Helen Keller performing. And she was just awful. Like, how people get really unnatural on stage. She didn't know what to do with her hands.
Why? Okay.
Oh my god. I'm scooting my chair away from Loren.
For that lightning strike. Okay. In the end, or toward the end, oh god. What's his name? Will Patton demands that Bethlehem demands that the postman show up. And he's, with this, what is he? He's that's right. He's gonna disband the post office. So he sends one letter to somebody and he's got to hand deliver the other one to Bethlehem, right? It only makes sense that he, the leader of this group, would deliver the letter.
And he's resolved to. It really feels like he's ready, like, I'm knowing surely this will be a death mission. And he's gonna go do it.
You know it's a death mission.
And you're like, and you see the movie's going in this direction and this is gonna be tragic and amazing.
And then, so his second in command, the Ford
Lincoln Mercury.
Postmaster by this point.
And I have no idea why the movie isn't just about him, because he's amazing.
He tries to talk Kevin Costner in to do it. And to Kevin Costner's credit, he's like, no, I can't do it. But then, he says, please. He's like Will Ferrell and Austin Powers. It's like, well, if you ask me 3 times, I have to let you do it. Why on earth would he let the kid do this?
Right? You would,
because he's a terrible person.
No.
Apparently. But
you see that? That's a man.
Yeah, but you don't even see the moment of him choosing to be selfish. Like, it feels like you don't see any kind of change in him.
And like, you don't see Ford Mercury Lincoln, whatever his name is. You don't see him like sneak off to do it,
Which
like,
would make sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would, that part
Kevin
would make
Costner's
a lot
like,
more
I'm
sense.
going to leave in the morning.
Yeah.
Takes
He's
the letter
making
and
the choice to
goes.
close this down to save all these kids because they're all getting slaughtered. Like, no more post office. And
But
then
it takes him
I'm
like
gonna-
months to do that too.
Yeah, but then I'm gonna send this kid who's nothing but sweet and believes so hard in me on the guaranteed suicide mission.
Yeah, oh my God.
Preposterous.
Boggles
so
the
mad.
mind.
It's as crazy as the slow-mo letter grab.
What a coward.
Hey guys, remember how like the first half hour of the movie, like Will Patton has a Shakespeare off with Kevin Costner, but then when he sees him again 2 weeks later, he doesn't.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh my god, that was the best. And then
For the whole movie.
it is so funny
He's
because
Shay.
you're like, he has a line, he's a throwaway line that says, oh, you look familiar. And so you're like, okay, well, he's not going to recognize him.
Remember that prisoner
maybe.
who escaped 3 days ago?
Right.
That was me.
It's
No,
not
that
like
was
he
4
had-
years ago.
It's not like he had a big bushy beard, but now it's shaved and it's gone because he was clean shaven and then grew a beard and then shaved it again when by the time he saw him.
Exactly. And so,
To show time passed.
yeah, so he doesn't
How much?
recognize him.
Oh.
And so you kind of think, well,
His
okay,
beard falls out every
he's
fall.
going to recognize him when, he sees him again. And so then he sees him again and he's still like, there's, now it's just the postman. He has this another enemy, the postman. And then not until the very end does Kevin Costner say, yeah, I was, he's showing his tattoo.
How does he show it? How does he show it?
He
How
just
does he show
rips
it?
off his one sleeve and just rides around showing all of his
was
Bethlehem.
badass.
He rips it off at the shoulder.
Through a coat and a sweater and a top shirt. And you guys,
Shows him how fucking serious he is.
well, yeah.
He could have planned that. And
Yes,
installed some
yes.
Velcro.
Before the battle, he was there with a seam ripper, just kind of loosening it. So
You
it was only
guys-
on by 3 threads.
You guys, if a guy tears 3 layers of clothing like that, do not get into a man joust with him. That's just, you don't do that. You're going to lose.
Also, it wasn't just Bethlehem that didn't recognize him. It was all of Bethlehem's
Yeah,
army.
all of those people.
who served with him.
And it's like,
Well, he was
Oh.
eaten by a lion.
you're,
You guys, there was a lion.
There was-
yeah, one
There were
lion.
2
One
lions.
lion.
There were 2 lions.
Also, face blindness was the symptom of the plague.
Ooh, that's part of the bad mums.
Yep.
They
You get
forgot
face
that.
blindness. Guys,
Where-
the
how
movie
many-
starts on a lion.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Oh, I have another line from Jason that was good. Oh, I gotta read. Hold on. Farts in my pants. Somebody say something else.
Yeah, so
Something else.
he doesn't recognize him. And then you discover that it wasn't just a joke. Like, he does seriously not recognize Kevin Costner from the beginning, like, of the movie that is now only 3 hours long. And
You know how you have a hard time recognizing people out of context?
no,
Like, you know them from work, but then you see them in a bar later, like, wow, do I know you?
No, it doesn't happen. And Kevin Costner doesn't try to hide from him. That's the thing. It's like, he could very well recognize him. Kevin Costner has no idea. But yet he goes, no, I don't know. I just have a face, like, oh, no, I don't know you. It's like,
I'm just blandly attractive.
That was
that's
amazing.
all.
I thought Kevin Costner had just walked into this room.
no, if it were Kevin Costner, he'd be like,
What did you think of
I don't know.
Bethlehem's line? That's right. Reason can be defeated by terror.
It's pretty true.
Okay.
That Fox News is showing that to
Yeah.
us every day.
It's their new logo.
Here, I've got where I wrote it. Jason says, I swear this is a different edit from what I've seen. I don't remember it being 3 hours, and I don't remember a lion.
Yes.
Because you guys, I really like the first moment of the movie. It's sprawling Utah desert. We see Costner and his mule, and he's like looking off down a cliff at like debris and detritus on the valley floor and like this trampoline. And then quick cut to the very next scene, he's jumping on the trampoline while Bill the donkey is like sitting in a way that horses don't normally do. And like, that's a really funny moment. If the movie had kept that up, I'd be all for it. But the very next scene is cut to thunderstorm and lion in the same wilderness.
And then at that gas station, he also has the thing where he looks up and he sees people getting gas. And I wasn't sure if he was crazy or just imagining it or what. He had a few moments like where was he watching TV?
Yeah, and like the back, I thought it was like a flashback maybe.
I had so much hope at this point. I'm like, this is going to be
stay
interesting.
crazy. Yeah.
Well, it was weird. I guess like, if you're going to show one lion and like a donkey and horses, you're gonna have to explain why there are no other animals around, you know, like, I don't know, like,
you can't afford more.
I don't know, but like,
I'm totally cool with that.
What about reptiles, you know, or,
you guys,
other.
This place used to be a zoo.
Yeah.
And which they explained the second line with that. Sure.
But I don't know, it was just.
Metaphor.
I don't know. And then there are no more you know, like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, what stayed from the old world to now? You know, like what?
Because now, Laura, we are the animals.
See. Laura, what's more disturbing, the lack of different kinds of animals or a cultural diversity in the movie?
You know what? The cultural diversity.
Okay, that's fair.
I liked
the cultural diversity is really upsetting. That there's cultural diversity.
I like it when Kevin Costner goes into the post office truck and he finds a lighter on the guy and he becomes a caveman immediately.
So weird.
He's fire.
He lights paper on fire in the truck?
And that's absolutely what he was doing. We were clearly going for, like, he's so cold and he's reduced to just, like, animalistic, like, survival stuff and, like, he's beyond language. Like, that's clearly what the movie's going for, but it was so silly.
The fire he starts, is that in the truck?
It's in the Jeep, yeah.
Unsafe.
Yeah, it seems like a bad idea.
No, I think he started the fire outside of the Jeep as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just remember
Still a bad choice.
He seems so warm from the fire outside his Jeep.
But what I liked about is the body has decayed of the actual Postman, but yet the suit is
perfect.
Well, they tailor it.
It is a perfect. It looks like somebody
really
put
nice.
a post office uniform over a skeleton in a science classroom.
Yeah.
It was a perfect skeleton.
Yeah.
It's like the Postman really does not smell good.
And this was a rated R movie. They could have had that. They could have had, you know, skin
gore.
and stuff.
Made it clear that this has been eaten.
I mean, I guess they wasted it all on Olivia Williams' breasts, which was not a waste. I was quite fond of him.
Her ass looked pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's a fine piece of ass.
Do you think she left the ribbon for him or not?
Do you think the postman was actually a skeleton?
That was part of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Back to the beginning or near the beginning. When
Oh, no, we got so far.
No, I just have a question. So when, you know, Kevin Costner, as whatever his name is, I don't know if we ever know
He
it.
doesn't have a name.
Yeah, before he's the postman. So Shakespeare. We'll call him
Postman.
Shakespeare. And he gets captured by Bethlehem, and then Bethlehem, they find a dead body, and they bring all of their slaves out to the woods, and they have Kevin Costner, Shakespeare, go and get the body, right? Is that what they do? I was confused at that moment. And then he brings him back, the body
Which
back?
is a weird
Well,
choice.
yeah, he was sent to get the lion, wasn't he?
Oh, was it the
Lions?
lion?
No, I think
The
he was
lion's
supposed to bring the
killing
body
people.
back. Yeah.
And he was supposed to go get the body, and if you see the lion, kill the lion with this very small knife.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was for the
He was
Yes.
supposed to kill the lion. Because there was that comment about there's still the lion, right?
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
it's
God.
It's the prologue. It doesn't matter.
The movie likes 40 minutes in is the prologue.
Or that was just like, oh, look everybody, and he stepped onto the log and it broke.
That was his plan, but it took him 5
Was it his
minutes to
plan?
puzzle through
See,
that.
surely your plan would have been step to the left or right of the plank.
I think that was always his plan, but
I
he
don't-
stopped and considered it for 5 minutes before doing it.
I'm going to disagree. I don't think that was his plan.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
I don't
that
think so
is-
either.
That's hard to survive.
But then
that.
why did he stop?
Because he's like, oh shit, I can't cross this. This is
That's
gonna
my
break.
brain.
I
Oh,
agree
you
with
think-
Sam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Hmm.
Well, and then
Maybe.
if you're gonna do that and you fall through, what do? You play dead, right? Like you
Yeah.
float away. You make it look like you're not alive, not like swimming away, and so everyone can see you and find you.
I
You
would
know?
agree with that, but it might be easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, you'd try to dive under the water too, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were trying to capture him, you wouldn't waste so many bullets on one guy trying to get
Right.
away. Surely,
Yeah, what's he
right?
gonna do?
They
Tell the
spent a lot of
authorities?
time shooting him.
Yeah.
I know
Lot of
it's a
manpower.
pride thing at that point, but still, I feel like weaponry is in short
Yeah,
supply.
he's just really stupid, I think. Because at the beginning,
Sure.
you know, when he's in that town, like, and then Bethlehem comes and, you know, gathers everyone from that town, or some of the men from age 18 to 50,
Right.
or
Mhm.
whatever he says. And then, you know, Kevin Costner's character Shakespeare is hiding away, and he's
hiding would have been smart.
But kind of okay.
He's doing.
He's
he
like,
makes a meal of leaving.
Yeah,
sneaking away through the open field.
Oh, that's what it is. But like he doesn't stop, to
stay behind the building.
Yeah, yeah. And then the kid with Down syndrome in that town gives him away, and so anyway. Yeah.
Because he's waving goodbye.
Yeah.
And Kevin Costner's waving, saying, "No, don't look at me. Look away." And that just makes him wave more. He's dumb.
So a lot of things in this movie, reminded me of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. There was a lot of like visuals that reminded me of it, and a few other things. And okay, in both in this world and in Waterworld, Costner it's this post-apocalyptic thing where the guy is never identified with a name. Do you think he was trying to go for his Man with No Name trilogy thing? I think this was his
in
second.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
No. But I think this was his attempt at his Sergio
Leone. Because that was part of the Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name trilogy.
Oh,
even though he has a name in each
if
and every.
so, can someone give him a stack of money and let him finish it?
I'm not sure why that hasn't happened
He's
yet.
not dead. Just go find the Applebee's he's sitting in right now and just hand him that money.
Can they streamline it though? I'd like to watch an hour and a half version of it, not the full 3 hours.
I want like
is Waterworld 3 hours? I can't remember. I saw a long time ago.
Did you watch it? Did you like it?
No.
Okay.
I want like
Sam,
you know
what's
how
wrong with you?
I was
there's
hoping
that
she could
cut of
defend
The
it.
Godfather where they cut all three of them together into one long movie.
Uh-huh.
I want him to do another one, and then I want this Waterworld and that other one cut into one long movie.
They're all different visions of the same future.
Yes.
Waterworld's running time is 2 hours and 56
It's about
minutes.
the same.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The next one will be 2:58.
Who directed Waterworld?
Did he?
I think.
I don't
Yeah,
really
he
know.
did. Yeah, Kevin
Oh my
Costner.
God.
Oh, come on. We need the third one.
Come on.
How, Kickstarter.
Do we know someone who could defend this one?
Dances with Wolves is approximately 5 hours long too, right?
Is that part of the trilogy?
Oh,
He had a name in
John
that one.
Dunbar.
But then again, so did.
No, man. Okay, so we've had water. We've had, I guess, Postman's kind of earth. So, like, the next feature has to be fire or air.
Air, yeah.
Air. It's Jetsons.
Yeah, in the air, yeah. So, do you think we can start a Kickstarter for him?
Yes.
Do you think he'll, like...
Can we? We have to.
Yeah, we have to start this, right?
When do we, is your question.
It has to be 2 hours and 58 minutes long.
Guys, did you like Tom Petty in the movie, or
No, because
in his part of
Bobby
the story?
told me. Okay, this is how this happened. So, Bobby sent me a text message this morning, or I was watching this after finishing because I did like half of it yesterday and half of it today, and then he said, "Oh, there's a cameo, not like a funny cameo, but just like an odd cameo."
No, I think I said there is an unreal cameo.
Oh, that's what he said. And then, so I'm,
Not in a good
and
way,
then when I
but in a
restarted
puzzling
it
way.
on iTunes, it said Tom Petty under like one of the cast. And so I was like, oh, okay, maybe that. And then I thought I had already seen him in the part where they were singing, I thought that was him.
You know Tom Petty.
Because I didn't know what Tom Petty looked like. And then I was like, oh, I got it. That's who he is. And so you like,
And he plays Tom Petty.
yeah.
Literally, not just like he's not a very good actor, he's just playing Tom Petty. He plays himself.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he's charming. He is.
But like, what?
It's fun to see him, but
I loved it.
At that point, go for it.
Yeah.
But
What-
that,
The
like,
only thing it was missing was, "You're famous, aren't you?" He should have turned to the camera and winked. But no, you're famous, buddy.
we were looking for more allusions to the song,
Yeah.
like when he gets up in the weird like zipline cage, like don't worry because you're gonna be free falling.
Well, of course we accept.
That won't back down.
Of course we'll let you into our town. We accept all refugees.
Yeah. Get out of here with your guns. Don't come around here no more.
And then he goes to Bridgetown, and this is where he realizes he has to go back because there's a small boy that doesn't know what a post office is. And they go to the top of the dam,
What's up, man?
and they got...
and he sounds like that.
Postman.
Like, what did you say?
Are you the postman?
I just realized that town was called Bridgetown.
Bridgetown.
There was Pine View, which I'm sure was in view of some pines. I really wish that Kevin Costner had not named Elvis, and then we could just assume he's probably the mayor there as well, that he had survived the apocalypse.
What was that weird scene where like Kevin Costner goes up all those stairs
That's
and
what
then
we're talking about.
that
He gets to the top, and they're like, what's the name of this town? They didn't have a name, so he says, well, I now declare this
Elvis, yeah.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah.
I missed it.
He's a big
I know he
classic rock
said
music
something.
fan.
But it was a weird scene.
Okay.
They just standing there watching him half up the stairs.
They're like, we already got a name. It's called High View. I don't know. Something.
yeah, that's so weird. That's what I thought they were going for, and I guess I missed it, like what name he came up with. But yeah, what the hell is that?
You guys, I absolutely zoned out in that part. I did not hear that. I just heard him panting and suffering from all the stairs.
I think Kevin Costner is a really big classic rock fan because there was Elvis, there was the Ringo Starr thing, Tom Petty.
Yeah,
So,
well, I think when maybe Lauren gives us our trivia, she'll like let us into
Did you
that.
read trivia?
No, I didn't
Oh,
actually.
okay.
speaking of that, let's do that. Let's do.
We're already there?
I
cut off a point from you.
Oh, I
You
apologize.
said you would
No,
say-
wait. No, I was good.
cut off
I don't
something.
think so.
Okay.
If I did, I forgot it.
Okay.
We'll talk
This is
about
still the prologue anyway. So.
Yeah.
Guys,
There's
we have
4
like
more
a couple
hours.
more hours on here, so.
it. So yeah, let's do IDOBM IMDb trivia TM.
Okay.
With Loren.
All right. Thank you, Sam. You did get something I wrote down, the corollaries between Waterworld and this one, where he's a nameless drifter. And also in the other movie, IMDb noted that someone else asks him about his seed in Waterworld. So this nameless man gets asked about his semen all the time.
Or Kevin Costner is obsessed with his own semen.
Yeah.
I think that might
He
be
knows
it.
it's good.
Something else really quick I wanted to say. He gets told, I don't know how often, that he's a smart guy. And I think that was just Kevin
He's
Costner
really
wanting to
insecure.
hear from people that he's a smart guy.
I can't believe that this film actually had a screenwriter because
like-
it feels like it would just be Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner, you're a smart guy and you have good semen. Nothing to worry about.
You're finally handsome, and we all know you're here to save us.
You're Superman's father, so you know.
Oh yeah, that's what he's been doing.
And that movie with black and white or something, right?
Oh,
Wasn't he in that
gosh,
one?
that's
That
right.
that movie that was panned.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which one?
It was where he adopts his
Octavia
mom's.
Spencer
Oh,
is in it.
yes.
Their daughter dies, and so his little girl. Never mind. I'm not going to say it.
My mom was in it. Or my mom was in it.
Your mom's not.
My mom liked it. It's very different.
She was in it.
But like, it looked like
It's like,
so. Like,
when
the parents die, and black grandma and white grandpa
Yeah.
fighting over a sweet little black girl.
I don't know. That reminded me of when Marge, when Lisa said that Marge worked on the Carter campaign, and she's like, "Well, you voted for him." That's how my mom was in that black and white movie. Sorry. Anyway.
Yes. And so just to end that one thought, the crew of the Postman actually referred to this as Dirt World. Further clinching that the next one has to be Air World. That we're going for that.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited about our Kickstarter.
And as we said, it was based on a novel, and so it was actually in development for a while, as all movies are. But at some point, Ron Howard was attached to direct, and Tom Hanks was being discussed to star as the Postman.
I want to see that version
movie.
of the movie.
I don't, because that would have been boring and dumb. This one's nuts.
No, because I mean Tom Hanks is in that one movie by
Road to
himself.
Perdition.
No, that one with the ball, Castaway. Thank you. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
And so I think that he would have done a much better job in
Because
this movie.
he's amazing, and
Yeah.
just watching him do anything is
Who
awesome.
Yeah.
would
Ron
Clint
Howard
Howard have been?
Yeah.
Giovanni
He was-
Ribisi character?
Oh god, we didn't talk about
Oh my
Giovanni.
god, how bad he was! Bobby was like, "No, you don't
leave
say that."
Giovanni Ribisi
That's what
alone,
he's told
okay?
me. I'm like,
I-
"No, he was terrible.
I really
there
like
was something
Giovanni
wrong with him in the
Ribisi.
movie."
But yeah, they were
He was
like,
in and he was out. Leave him alone.
he was in and he was
Ew.
out. Like, I thought, okay, so he and Tall Ice Cube and Kevin Costner are gonna all escape together.
Tall
and
Ice
that's
Tea.
gonna be the movie. Oh, Tall Ice Tea, that's right.
That was racist.
There were so many moments in the movie that was like, okay, this is what the movie's gonna be. Oh,
Uh-huh.
nope, they
Yeah.
just killed those people. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
And-
weird.
Yeah.
And also, by the people who are super racist and don't want mongoloids, Giovanni Ribisi was the most mongoloidy of insane people.
Right.
Why would you ever press gang
Well,
him into
mongoloid
your...
means-
I hate saying that word. I'm just
Mongoloid
quoting
means
the movie.
of Asian descent, not just like the kid who was waving goodbye earlier in the movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you do not want people who are of different... Oh, gosh,
That's how
what do we
they
say
meant it,
nowadays?
I'm
I'm going to stop.
Of Asian descent.
But he was like the most spastic, insane Giovanni
Yeah,
Ribisi.
dumb
Like,
shits are allowed.
his
basically.
characters that he can, he's good at in most things, but it was amped up to an insane number.
He did have the
Don't be
line.
mad.
Why'd you ruin it for me?
Didn't he say like, "Why did you do that?" Like when he stabbed him, Kevin Costner's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was sad.
Because he found, in his dumb shit world, he found a place.
Yeah. So
It's like the military. Some people just need that structure.
That place was Bethlehem.
Yeah. So what else?
Okay. And then my last one just was a fun one I wanted to do. So, Tom Petty, our great cameo in the movie, actually mentioned in 1982 while filming the video for his song You Got Lucky, which is also a post-apocalyptic theme story, that he wanted a small part in some futuristic sci-fi movie and some kind of post-war character. And now he finally had it.
And he got to be an animated character in King of the Hill. He's living the dream.
That's all we want.
Good for him.
And that is IDMDB trivia. IDOBM.
IDOBM IMDb trivia.
That's
TM.
the one. Yeah.
Okay.
No, say it again.
IDOBM IMDb trivia TM.
All right. I like the TM. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And now let's do Bobby and Laura discuss gender politics in the movie we just watched.
I got the eye of the tiger. Susan B. Anthony was on the dollar coin for a reason.
Stop objectifying me.
Gloria Steinem.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Equal rights amendment was never ratified.
Rosie the Riveter.
Oh my God, Bobby, shut up.
Rosie the Robot.
Who's gonna make me my sandwich?
My body, my choice.
Blatant. Susan B. Anthony was taken off the dollar for a reason.
Beyonce.
Well, I don't know about you, but I thought that women were portrayed really terribly in this movie.
Well, it's interesting. So Olivia, oh God, what's her name? Olivia Williams. Yeah. Olivia Williams in every scene is like a different woman trope.
Yeah.
Like she's the tough woman at one point.
No, okay, well, first she's like, she plays she's the like nut job who's like, do you get semen?
Wants to get down.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, I'm like gonna be really sensual with you. I'm attracted to you, even though I'm married. So like, a guy's fantasy. I don't know. I don't want to be I don't want to stereotype guys, but some guy's fantasy.
I know this is your segment,
Kevin
but
Costner.
Meredith Brooks taught us that women can be a bitch, a lover, a child, a mother. She could be different things from one scene to another, okay?
So this movie was based on that song.
So, don't you dare bring the good song into this terrible movie.
Then you leave Giovanni Ribisi alone.
No, I won't.
So sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, but anyway, and then she was like very strong after, Kevin Costner gets shot before he's
even
Postman.
in that scene, she goes from being a very good shot and hitting the guy about to kill Kevin Costner right in the head, and then to being a very bad shot by shooting at Bethlehem 20 times and not hitting him once. Mm-hmm. She's very changeable.
Yeah. And then, so they have that, and then they escape. She and Kevin Costner's Postman escape, and then, so she like is nursing him. She takes care of him, takes care of his wound, tends to him, and then I guess like when it gets really bad in the winter, she falls into the river, and then she all of a sudden needs his help, and he's become a new person, and he can help her, and so. And then, it's just like
that was weird because there's a moment where she's just like, whatever, I don't need you. And then I'm like, where's the movie going with this? This is interesting. And then all of a sudden she's the damsel again. All right.
But then she wasn't like, she saved herself and she was fine, but she was saved from the rapids, but then needed him to come along and help her up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, no, absolutely. And so, I mean, it's like, so she changes within the scene, basically. She changes, she's helpful and then helpless, and it's...
Okay, but so all that aside, it is interesting that when we get to the postal service, the new government, that women seem to take an equal role in that. The girls take an equal role to that as the guys do. They get like their fair share of the violence. They deliver all the same routes. And I remember at that point thinking of this segment and also thinking like, oh, that's really
But I mean, there was only one girl who was delivering mail. Yeah, I don't think there were any.
There were others in the background, but you're right. As far as the ones that actually get to have a named part.
Yeah.
There was a
token girl.
But then with the guys, there was Lincoln Ford Mercury, and then there was Opie from Sons of Anarchy, and that was about it as far as the named guys in the postal service.
And then there was the other one.
There was also Max Giambetti from General Hospital. He was one of Sonny's bodyguard. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah.
All my GH fans, can I get a what?
No.
I take it back.
What? I'm kidding. A long time ago.
I withdraw my point then. This movie is very, very sexist.
I see what
I don't know. What are your guys's? I mean,
this is our segment. This is our segment.
Lauren can only butt in sometimes because Sam is in danger of calling Loren Laura at any given point.
I don't know. That's
yeah, Loren. I was looking at Laura.
I can't answer.
Guys, I don't want to butt in, but there's so much to talk about with this movie. It's hard not to.
You would need about 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, but they do have a girl at the end, and she. I mean, I don't know if that has
a narrator.
Yeah, she is a narrator.
Yeah. Hope.
Oh my God, her name was Hope.
guys, we haven't talked about the end yet. Like we sort of suggested it, but we haven't covered exactly.
Yeah, we do.
I'm sorry.
No,
go. Let's talk about the end.
We can totally end the segment.
Yeah,
it's a good segment.
I mean, I think we both agree that it's
the most empowering.
I know.
For white men.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the ending?
Oh my gosh, the ending! Our narrator.
Oh, wait! There was actually
one
more thing. And we touched upon it earlier, but there was one point I almost turned the movie off because I was so disgusted by it when Bethlehem rides into town. What Pineview is it? And he sees Olivia Williams' character Allie, or is that her name?
Who knows?
It starts with A. Abby.
I just call her
something.
GTL.
Oh, I think it is Abby. Yeah.
Abby. And he goes, "Oh, that's a fine piece of ass." And he's like, "I'm gonna have her every night," and I was like disgusted. Yeah, and he tries, and later they talk about it, and he beats her up. I mean, that's terrible.
He's impotent,
it is.
and
He's
it's
not
like,
a person.
I don't know. Like,
Wait,
he was a bad guy.
Yeah, he was the villain.
Even though he could be a villain without doing that, like just that in the movie, I wanted.
I agree, but I'll give the movie a little bit of credit for not showing it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because it didn't know where it probably did show it in the extended version of the movie. We only watched the extended version, but I mean,
I think rape is a device that's too often used in movies, and so I think they actually showed a little bit of restraint to have him where he couldn't get it up, and so he instead hit her. I don't know. Not that it was good, I don't know.
That was just a device to show that he's not a real man.
Yeah. Well, we knew that. Never mind.
Well, it was.
He's only a real man if he can.
To me, that part though, including that part, was such a throwaway thing to include in it because it doesn't. No, there's no other women ever mentioned with Bethlehem ever in the rest of the movie. So why even include that part? So I don't know.
Subtext.
Oh, we also forgot. We haven't talked about his gelding sidekick.
Who turns
his
him
gelfling sidekick?
Yeah, the one, huh?
His gelfling sidekick?
No.
The one who looks like Armand
Gelding.
Asante.
Gelding.
Armand Asante. I thought that was him for a second. The actor Armand.
Yeah.
I thought it was him.
He has a great name, Armand Asante. I guess there's not much to talk about. He had a sidekick who had his tongue cut off.
He had major Stockholm syndrome.
Oh, that's him. Oh, okay. I didn't
and his testicles were cut off too.
I didn't
because
realize.
He challenged
I didn't
him.
realize that was him.
Yeah.
And you see, because he challenged him and he failed, so he has testicles cut off, so he's no longer a real man. The way that Bethlehem knows he's not a real man because he can't impregnate a lady.
I know the larger meaning of that duel scene at the end is that they're getting rid of the old ways. But it is funny that Kevin Costner stands up and says, "Our first rule is no killing, peace." And then the very first thing that happens under his rule is they shoot a guy.
And also, everyone is immediately okay with this rule.
Yeah.
The people who've been subjugated, the subjugators who might have issue now with their leader being killed. Everyone's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's be better.
Come on, people now.
And we've established that if you interrupt the peace, you get killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely going to be some problems.
The government's coming to take away your guns.
Because now you have people who were on your side, but you just burnt my house down and shot my husband a week ago.
You know what it is?
The government's coming to take our guns, but the government is also the hero?
It's like when Jon Snow had the wildlings come over into the with everyone else in South. And no, we've been fighting those people for years. They killed my comrades. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Especially with the giants.
You're right.
So this is the movie we watched. Let's discuss the movie we wish we'd seen.
Ugh, this movie is crap. I could write a better movie in my sleep.
And now, IDOBM presents the movie we'd wish we'd seen.
And that is, of course, where we take an aspect of the movie and we talk about a movie that we'd rather see from that. It could be like a prequel, a sequel, maybe a bit character who deserves his own movie, something like that. Bobby, I think you've already shared with us what you'd like to see.
Yeah, and I also feel that we've come up with a definitive answer of the spin-off we'd want of it.
So,
but no, what I would want is a collection of Kevin Costner Shakespeare movies. Just absolutely.
How about you, Laura?
I want to see his donkey at the beginning. I want to see that one. I want to see him in just like in the Shakespeare play and playing the lead role of every
That's
Shakespeare
the whole movie.
play. Yeah.
That would be amazing. There was one part where he was opening everyone's mail and reading it, and he read one that was like a letter to Grandpa, and it said Jimmy lost a tooth, and I want to see how that tooth was lost, guys. I'm like so curious. Is Jimmy a child and it just fell out naturally, or is he an adult and he lost it in some other way? I want to see this movie. Now, Jason, you like this movie, but
I have a bit that I would like to have seen. See, in my mind, Kevin Costner was lying about being a postman, but he wasn't lying about Richard Starkey, Ringo Starr, actually restarting the American government in Minneapolis.
Go on.
This was actually happening, as far as I'm concerned. I thought this was quite good.
It has never been proven to not be happening.
Yeah.
You guys, we got sidetracked and didn't talk about the end again.
Oh my God.
So I figured about what I want to see, because we flash forward to discover our narrator is the daughter of Shakespeare and Olivia Williams, all grown up to be Mary Stuart Masterson.
Yeah.
And the future looks like we've rebuilt everything. Like,
it looks completely like present day.
They're dedicating a beautiful bronze statue that recreates the slow-mo letter moment that no one else saw, but that's the moment we've chosen to commemorate.
We all saw it.
We have video cameras.
But the one guy who was there is surprised that the statue's him.
Clearly,
we have video
maybe it's
cameras.
happened numerous times.
But there are video cameras implying like that's all back on track. There's
They regrew the ocean.
very clean. They regrew the ocean. There's some very clean pastel textiles on people. It looks like the 1980s have come back, which is clearly when the apocalypse happened, as we've discussed before. And like somehow everything got rebuilt and is fine again. So I really want to know how that worked. How did we recobble together society to be just like the 1980s?
That is an excellent point. So, okay, Jason, I want to make it very clear. We don't want people to not like the movies they like. If you like it, that's great. So I'm assuming you still like this movie.
Oh, I love this movie.
Okay, good. Let's go around the horn. Bobby, how do you feel about the movie now?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's really long. It's such a long movie. And watching this movie again, I am surprised that we ever let Kevin Costner become a thing. But I am ecstatic to find out that he directed this movie. I didn't know as I watched it. I found out during this podcast, and that really adds just a whole new layer to this experience. But I still, I don't know if it's worth sitting through 3 hours of this.
How about you, Laura?
No, I don't like it. But I am actually really eager to start this Kickstarter for the third movie for Airworld. Okay, everyone.
Now, will you watch it if it gets made?
Yes, absolutely. We will all watch it.
Or Waterworld.
Yeah.
Well, he's dead. What? How far into the future is that ending?
Waterworld?
No, of this movie.
Like 43 or something.
43, and then
That's right, yeah.
Oh, I guess. Okay, so he'd be in his 80s. He's supposed to be 40.
No, he's dead. He's dead.
No, I know. But if he were alive, he'd be in his 80s.
Yeah.
But what if he departed to the air or Airworld?
Oh, we figured it out. He was just not there because he wasn't present, but he was in the air.
That's right. He's ascended.
Yeah. Well, he's just on the airplane, you know?
There's no supernatural aspect to it.
The air was a lie.
No.
I'm going to say I didn't much care for this as well. You know what? I'm going to use the old Leonard Maltin aphorism. It suffers from overlength. There were parts of this movie where I was enjoying it. Or not enjoying might be strong, but I was on the movie's side. I'm like, okay, I want to see that. I like the kids.
Please be specific.
I like the stuff with the kids and those ragtag bunch of
I actually really liked Tom Petty's little town. Like, I wanted to see more of that. In that room that she has a baby in. I'm like, well, that's a nice room. It's open. There's a scene of, you can see the or water or whatever. And I'm like, this is cool. Why aren't we seeing more of this?
That was a nod to Waterworld.
Yeah. And that thing, that contraption he had. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, but yeah. Right. It was like Waterworld.
So yeah, ultimately I'd have to say I didn't like it. If a supercut might be decent of it, get it down to an hour, half hour 40. But this felt There were 2 points in the movie where I'm like, okay, right there, that's a movie. But there were 2.5 hours, or 2 hours and 20 minutes left, and then like another hour and 20 minutes left. So it was just too much. How about you, Loren?
You guys,
Oh my god.
I don't know if I all the way hated the movie.
Everyone.
And that feels not converted because all the things we've said, it has so many flaws and it's so messed up.
The flaws
But
are
just,
part of what the charm.
and that's fair. But, and just like we've said, the moments where you can see the sparkle of like, oh, this could be a fun movie. Like the ragtag stuff with the kids and like, guys, I don't know why, but I'm really moved by like the underdogs fighting back and like the post office saving us all.
Now you were crying when that when he turned around and grabbed that kid's letter.
Crying with laughter and frustration.
Okay.
No, it's not at all a good movie, but like moments of watching it, like I want to see what happens next. And as we've established, it kept us on our toes. Like we did not know what was going to happen. It was you could not blame this movie for being predictable. No, it's still terrible, but maybe not the worst thing I've ever seen.
So is it a good, bad film?
It might be a good bad film.
Okay.
If you enjoy bad films and don't mind when something is absolutely bananas, yes.
And you were drinking enough to where 3 hours is not an issue.
I'm like, that's fine. I got time.
And if you're with other people and can make fun of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, just doing it by yourself that doesn't seem like much fun. Okay, so now let's talk about it's stuff that needs no defense. Anything else that we're just into right now? Loren, do you want to start?
Thank you, Sam. Yes. Actually, watching the movie made me think of something. The whole time watching it was like, I wish I was watching this thing. So if you enjoy movies based on novels about charlatans who end up working as postmen, leading them to a redemptive journey, this is going to be perfect for you.
This is my favorite genre.
I know, exactly. I want to recommend the two...
Precious by...
That's right.
Fire.
Push.
Oh, Push. I'm sorry. I got the wrong name.
It's actually the 2010 British miniseries called Going Postal. It's based on a book, and it's kind of set in this crazy Terry Gilliam style world where it's like really funny and fantasy, and this former conman gets arrested and is given a choice between death or reopening the post office in this town, and becomes postmaster but discovers all the former postmen have died under mysterious circumstances. But it's a fantasy world, so it's got magic and werewolves and golems and Tywin Lannister, and it's cool. It's all on YouTube right now, so hopefully if that's not the worst way to watch something, it just goes through a stream. But I really recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And just watching this movie about a postman in some crazy world made me just want to watch this one instead.
Doesn't it have Michelle Doherty from
Downton Abbey
in it? I think she's. Is she in it?
I think I will go to IDOBM TM to confirm. I'm not sure that's true.
Is it Terry Pratchett?
It's Terry Pratchett.
Maybe,
I can't remember
maybe
her.
Maybe she was in the other one.
Let's look this up. I know he's at a couple.
The one with the Grim Reaper thing.
I don't see it. It's Going Postal?
Going Postal, yeah. Claire Foy is the main lady in it. She's
yeah.
I'll just adore it.
While you're doing that, how about you, Jay? Sorry, just anything you're into these days. What are you watching, reading, listening to? Something that needs no defense.
Well, I'm on board with all the ones you're on board with the Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. Come back to me a minute. Let me have a think about it.
Okay, how about you, Bobby?
Okay, yeah. So a Disney movie I've always kind of liked, but wanted to love and couldn't totally get on board with was Hunchback of Notre Dame. And recently there's a cast album of a musical adaptation of the Disney movie, and it is lovely. I love it.
Is it good?
Yes, it's so good. It makes a lot of changes to the movie. It's a lot darker. They get rid of the slapsticky gargoyles, and I can't get enough of it.
We're going to have to talk about this more after the show.
It's so
and
good.
You're going to have to give me a copy of that.
Okay.
Cool. Laura, how about you?
Yeah, I just saw, the last movie I saw was The Big Short, and I recommend it. It's really interesting. Adam McKay, known as Will Ferrell's friend, or frequent collaborator, with him, on their website, funnyordie.com. He directs it, and he does a really good job of making something that is kind of like a boring or like hard subject to grasp really understandable and fun to watch. So
is Pearl in it?
Yeah, actually, because they do by year, and they show like relevant like things that are happening, play relevant music, and they show clips from that. Yeah, it's really cute.
Nice. I'm going to, since we did watch a movie by that was written, or not, I guess not written, but directed and starring this auteur Kevin Costner. I'm going to recommend a similar movie. This movie is you might not have heard of him. It's a gentleman named Neil Breen. The guy's a genius. It's the movie Fateful Findings.
Oh, I'm going to stand with Leah on this one.
I'm so mad at you right now.
And no, don't watch it. Everyone, don't watch it.
Downloaded on my phone and ready to watch because of you, Sam.
This movie's fantastic.
No.
Okay. If you like The Room, if you like Birdemic,
I'm so in.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm
2 magical words.
Yeah. In case you are not too familiar with The Room and Birdemic, this is a good bad movie.
No,
it is a.
It's a bananas bad movie.
It is bananas.
You're selling it, Lauren. You're just really selling it.
And if that's what you're into, you're right.
My mom and sister were in the room when I was watching most of it, and they will deny it, but they were laughing as well. It's a very funny movie, so I totally recommend you check that out. Jay, what have you got?
I'm going back to the opposite of The Walking Dead, Z Nation, which is all the bad ideas that people have about zombie movies thrown in for good fun. If you've seen it, it's a cracker. Zombie babies and all kinds of just all the bad choices shoved into one TV show.
Z Nation.
Z Nation.
These are 4 things that we have
French.
to check out.
Z
Nation.
Okay, last thing. Anyone have anything they need to plug? Bobby and Laura, usually.
My ears, well, you're rambling off your plugs.
That's fair. Speaking of which, February 14th, my improv troupe, Upperclassmen, we're going to have our season opening show at Long Beach Playhouse. That's Sunday, February 14th at Long Beach. I said Long Beach Playhouse. I said that already. At 7 o'clock. In the meanwhile, if you want to enjoy stuff until then, check out our YouTube page, Upperclassmen. I don't know. Look up our Upperclassmen. You'll find us.
You guys, it's going to be their most romantic show of the year. It's Valentine's Day.
There will be kissing. What about you, Lauren? Do you have anything to plug?
No, I'm good.
Okay. How about you, Jason?
Or you can check out my band, The Urban Voodoo Machine, online. The Urban Voodoo Machine.
They are good?
Yeah.
Zombie on drums. I'm a bit obsessed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any final words from anyone?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
You flew all the way out here from England just to do this.
Yeah.
I was flown here by the airman.
It's meant
The last airman.
The script is just writing itself.
It's going to be amazing. I feel like Postman just wrote itself. No professional had
Well, I
to
think
that.
we can write it. We can start a Kickstarter to have Kevin Costner direct it and star in it, and then we can all be his co-stars, right? And we will have the script for him.
This is going to be amazing.
I think
100% on board.
I think,
and so will he be.
Yeah.
I want him to have complete creative control. Like, I just want to hand him a stack of money and say, make a movie. The stipulation is you must make a movie.
Yes. All right. Well,
that is exactly 2 hours and 58 minutes.
Exactly 2:58.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you guys for being here.
You're welcome.
And again, special thanks to Jay.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
thank
All right. And see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.